Still as a breeze, a river flowing deep. Don't wanna leave the air you breathe. Living mirrors dreams when I think of you and me. Don't wanna leave the world you see, and I will hold you down if love is still alive. It's all forgiven to my eyes. The tide has turned around. Just listen to the sound. Two hearts beating, beating time. Hey yeah, hey yeah, hey yeah, hey yeah, hey yeah. It's all forgiven to my eyes. Hey yeah, hey yeah, hey yeah, hey yeah, hey yeah. It's all forgiven. You and your wicked ways.
The face that launched 1,000 ships was not Helen. It was Andromache. My father told me several times, and I remember his wisdom, that Achilles was no hero. He was invulnerable. What did he fear of death? Hector was the real hero, a warrior, a lover, father, son who faced his fears in almost inevitable death. Homer's Iliad, which should be read by all young men, is a story of people trapped in events that they know will be disastrous for them, but which they cannot escape, for reasons either that they cannot control or that are imposed on them by their codes of duty and honor. Some of the prisoners of circumstance are the great Trojan warrior Hector and his wife and infant child. In another part of the field, no less trapped is Achilles, who has suffered the devastating bereavement of Patroclus that he could have avoided by sacrificing his pride, and who, though he will be the instrument of Hector's death, is fully aware that he too will die young. Both men are two of the sides of masculine culture. This is my edited and translated version of a poem about Hector's Farewell to Andromache by Friedrich Schiller.
Will you, my Hector, forever go away to where with unmatched hands Achilles makes Patroclus bloody offerings? Who will teach your little one with strength to throw the spear, or how to honor the gods, if what I fear occurs, and death devours you?
Dear wife, enough of tears, for go I must. For love of you I burn with battle lust, my arms sustain the symbol of our city. If now I fall, I'll fall in the Trojan gods, and your defense as a pious hero. Then make my descent to grim Hades.
I'll never hear the clash of your weapons again. Unused, your iron will rust in the halls of men, and your father Priam's line will die. You'll go to where no sun, no day ever shines his golden face, to where the wailing slithers through the waste. Your love will die in oblivion.
Though all my hopes and all my thoughts will sink from the gentle flow of oblivion, my love won't drink. No, my love won't drink. Listen, the Greeks are blustering at Troy's walls. Now gird my sword, hold back your tears and listen to my word. My love won't die in oblivion. We are used to movies, and in many ways they are better at creating moments, immutable pictures that never change in our memories once seen. Saffron Burrows will always and indelibly be the face of Andromache for me, and I'm sure for others. But they are pictures, not action, not events. Another story that has always inspired me. The Etruscans were attacking Rome, but one bridge passed their entry, and after a long passage comes. Then out spake brave Horatius, the captain of the gate. To every man upon this earth death cometh soon or late, and how can man die better than facing fearful odds, for the ashes of his fathers and the temples of his gods? We do not all face death of that kind of mythic circumstance, but all men are expected by society to measure himself against Horatio and Hector if we want to be considered a man. facing threat when we are scared. Trying is what's important. Hector could not beat Achilles, who even desecrated his body in death, while Andromache was forced to watch. So what are the threats that we face in a modern or postmodern society? They are different for everyone. My father faced death with stoicism, humility, and courage. It scares me to even think of it, but I saw him do it and touched his dead body. I ask you to disavow the ideas you may have accreted about toxic masculinity, but also the idea that making money and screwing whores is all that is required to be a man. Women appear in this narrative as lessons, noticeable as lovers or wives, the ones we are often forced to leave behind. Sometimes because we are still searching for our freedom. Sometimes because we feel so little time, so many girls to bed. Sometimes because they cannot deal with our madness, or because we have gone to be soldiers. But they are all important. My father never spoke about the threats against our masculinity we face, and sometimes fail almost on a daily basis, so I will have to respond to academia, but more importantly, my own lived experience. Perhaps it helps to consider what I mean by masculinity or warrior behavior first. A warrior culture is a society, subculture, or social group in which martial values, military service, and the capacity for organized violence are regarded as central sources of identity, status, morality, and social order. I would add any society in which men are expected to face trials, sometimes embedded in the society, like obligatory military service in Israel. In some more ancient societies, like the Maasai, young men are initiated into the Moran or warrior group by circumcision, and then becoming the protectors of the tribe, and the cattle herds, which means killing lions using only spears. Their distinctive appearance is the wearing of long braids in red ochre, red robes, and carrying weapons. Lions run away when they see these red warriors. In the West, the trials or initiations facing young men are informal but no less real. There is no elder waiting with a spear, no public ceremony announcing that a boy has become a man. Instead, the tests arrive piecemeal through family, school, sport, work, friendships, films, songs, and experience. The route is rarely marked and the rules are seldom explained, yet most boys understand that they are being judged against them. In many cultures, a man who flinches, retreats, or appears physically vulnerable will certainly be judged more harshly than a woman displaying the same behavior. Men who try but fail are fulfilling their social role, but men who do not try at all, refuse to fight back, or are too scared of rejection to approach women are sometimes considered to be not men at all. Modern boys face different challenges, but they are recognizable as the descendants of older trials. He may be expected to approach a girl despite the possibility of rejection, to stand up to a bully despite the possibility of humiliation, to compete in sport despite the possibility of failure, to find work, earn a living, and eventually support a family despite the possibility that he may fall short. As he grows older, the expectations often increase. He is expected to take responsibility for children, remain dependable when others rely upon him, carry his share of the burden, and not abandon his companions when circumstances become difficult. In whatever field he enters, there is usually an expectation that he will not cheat his colleagues, that he will pull his weight, and that his word can be trusted. Many of these expectations are never stated openly. They are simply understood. Beneath them lies an older question. Not whether a man can win, but whether he will stand his ground, whether he will face danger when required, whether he will persevere when quitting would be easier, whether he can master fear, disappointment, and rejection without surrendering to them. This is why figures like Hector have remained powerful symbols. He is not admired primarily because he fights well, but because he is expected to carry obligations, husband, father, son, defender, even when he knows the outcome may be disastrous. This is why my father's comment about Hector is so interesting. It touches a very old idea found from Homer onward. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is taking action despite fear. Harper Lee in To Kill a Mockingbird wrote, "I wanted you to see what real courage is, instead of getting the idea that courage is a man with a gun in his hand. Real courage is when you know you're licked before you begin, but you begin anyway and see it through no matter what." And Churchill said, "Courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen." Achilles can seem less compelling to some readers because his near invulnerability places him outside ordinary human frailty and exposure. Hector, by contrast, knows exactly what can happen to him. These expectations may be fair or unfair, healthy or unhealthy, but they recur so often across different societies that they form a useful map of what many cultures have historically meant by being a man. However, Hector, Horatio, or Sergeant Troy from Hardy's Far from the Madding Crowd were not born with masculine virtues. They made themselves and were often guided by older men either in the family or by watching men on TV, movies, or song. Not all men own every one of these attributes all the time, and often each facet of masculinity can have a corresponding and negative trait. Not facing fear or challenges may make a man shrink into a grey lizard and never become an eagle or become a resentful, jealous scorpion. Owning some traits of masculinity does not follow that all men are honorable or loyal to each other. In fact, many men are competitive without loyalty. All of us have met with managers who smile in our face but wait for opportunities to stab us in the back. Some men do not protect the weak, especially women or children. Social media offers a platform for some masculine men to enlarge on beating women into submission, and we have all seen enough terrorist attacks in which children have been purposely murdered. The elements found in a warrior culture are more of a map of events that teach us about being a man than a blueprint that all men must follow.